Thanks for tuning in. I'm Andy Schallman. This is the Generation Report. From the time I first read The Fourth Turning, there's been one particular passage in the book I've not only never been able to forget, I've memorized it word for word. To the new mindset, social authority came at an unacceptable cost. Corporations crushed the individual, police oppressed the poor, academe smothered creativity, and parents deformed the child's psyche. Like long hair, this attitude began in the mid-1960s among the children of the affluent. I hope that in the future, people who want to independently assess how America got to where it is in 2025 will appreciate the significance of that passage. It is undeniable that over the post-World War II period, there has been a conspicuous push, culturally, socially, legally, and politically, to not only change American society from the inside, but to control and in many cases redefine what Americans recognize as being true. A couple of months ago, Chronicles magazine put out a special issue which included an essay by British author Nima Parvini entitled The Boomer Truth Regime. A portion of it reads, "In every society, in every epoch, a hegemonic mode of thought will be all-pervasive. An almost hermetically sealed system of a priori assumptions and values that govern how men and women relate to the world around them and to their history and culture. This is what we call a truth regime." The boomer truth regime can be seen, in one sense, as the total supplanting of older pre-war truth regimes. Its mythical ideal is a world of realized and peaceful equality in which the distinctions between people that were held in place by the bad old castes dissolve, as they are revealed to be only skin-deep. A core assumption of boomer truth is that political and social change are bottom-up processes flowing from the dreams, hopes, and desires of the people up to the elites. The Populist Delusion, that's a book by Parvini, overturns this view and suggests that political and social change flow top-down from the elites to the people. While I basically agree with that whole assessment, I would make this one adjustment. Contrary to many, I don't see the post-war liberation ethos as being mostly generational. Boomers certainly played a big role in embracing that ethos and expanding it. They did not create it. To first belabor the obvious, there were calls for liberation long before boomers were born. In the 60s, when boomers were young, the new mindset Strauss and Howe wrote about was championed most forcefully by artists, activists, and intellectuals who were overwhelmingly older than boomers. And moving ahead to today in boomers' old age, we see mostly younger people proclaiming this mindset, in the halls of academia, on cable news, and at rallies around the country. The reason truth has assumed a different meaning than it once had, the reason Americans across generations have embraced the truth regime that began to take hold when boomers were coming of age, is because the message it offered, namely that American society needed to be brought in line with its stated ideals, and it was going to take the most conscientious and enlightened people to make those ideals into reality, deliberately reoriented truth to be whatever affirmed the ideas, the policies, the language, and the behaviors of the people who were committed to that transformation. Thanks to the ideas that went mainstream in the 1960s, truth is no longer recognized as a reflection of objective reality. It is instead something which is confirmed if it supports a morally and intellectually superior worldview. And having swallowed this worldview hook, line, and sinker, our institutions have spent decades imbalancing the scales of truth about as much as can be done in a society that is technically still a constitutional republic. So what is this resistance really about? Is it about saving the Constitution? Saving democracy? Stopping America's backsliding into an oligarchy or a monarchy? Hardly. This resistance is about preserving an American system millions have been led to believe is directly handed down from the founding, but which in fact has been profoundly changed into a system that extols the worldview of elites and lets them feed from the public trough with impunity, applauds displays of virtue signaling and self-righteousness while actively inhibiting ordinary citizens' exercising of their First Amendment rights and participation in the democratic process where either interferes with the elite's agenda, relentlessly celebrates people who challenge conventional wisdom, break symbolic barriers, and profess to use their station or position to change the way things are, and encourages adherents of its truth regime to regard the other half of the population, the one not so committed to change for change's sake, as irrational, backward, and inferior. Opinions certainly vary about what President Trump and his administration are doing. The resistance is about preserving a state of affairs that is eating the country from the inside, but which many people conveniently dismiss because hating and blaming the other side just feels better. America's truth regime does not have the same command of the narrative as it did 4 or 5 years ago, but the combination of its adherents' desperation, anger, and iron certainty that they have a lock on the truth makes that regime more dangerous now than ever. Where is this all going to lead? I don't know, but as a general matter, I think it's clear that the social protests are going to become increasingly violent, the political and cultural grandstanding will grow more and more farcical, and the projection and lying will reach a level no one has seen in our lifetime. America is in a bad spiral right now, and my concerns for what the long-term implications will be are far greater than those that have been expressed by Neil Howe. In closing, I'll cite this rather prescient observation from Hannah Arendt in her landmark 1951 book, The Origins of Totalitarianism. Only the mob and the elite can be attracted by the momentum of totalitarianism itself. The masses have to be won by propaganda. Thank you for listening. May God bless America.